If we practice with consistency and intention, we can get there. Maybe we won't be Michael Jordan, but you know what? That's okay. We don't need to be Michael Jordan in meditation. We just need to be good enough for us. And some people are going to be better and some people are not. But as long as we're just good enough for us, we just need to be good enough to help ourselves. So there's no person that's born great with meditation. Everyone needs to develop that. So if you've never meditated, you start with 1 minute, with 2 minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Good Gut Feeling podcast, where we digest modern medicine with old world wisdom. Today, another exciting topic that we can use today to change our lives and change our health. And I can't wait to jump into it, but just a little bit of business. This topic, this episode, and all the other episodes are for educational purposes and do not take the place of your doctor's or healthcare practitioner's advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's jump right into probably one of my favorite topics, and that is meditation. Meditation means so many things to so many people, and many people don't have an understanding of the benefits meditation can truly have. And I see many patients in my practice who come to me as second opinions, meaning they've already been to the doctor. And many times they've been to regular conventional doctor or they've been to functional medicine doctors. And many of them are already eating healthy food and they are exercising and they're going to sleep early and they're getting enough sleep and their makeup is clean and they're drinking clean water and all that stuff is aligned. And they're wondering how can they be sick when all their friends really don't seem to be putting any effort into their health. They're maybe, going to sleep late, not getting enough sleep, eating junk, eating, regular American diet, and they seem to be fine. And these amazing people who are putting so much effort into their health are sick. And it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. And from what I have seen, the missing key is the mind-body connection. And how do we treat the mind-body connection? So as a practitioner, we have different techniques in my practice, but it's very, very important for the person to do the work at home because everything we do is amplified when the person does their work at home. Meaning, let's say you train with a trainer once, twice a week, and that gets you to the next level. But if you exercise in between, then you really take yourself to the next level before the next visit. So you are able to really, your slope of your growth is steeper. In the same way, meditation works. So as a physician that deals with a mind-body connection, that treats it, and then the patient does their work at home, well, we can get really far. We can get really far much faster. So how do we do it? And what is meditation? So I want to talk a little bit about what meditation is because I think it's misunderstood. It's not just relaxation. It's really much more than that, even though it is relaxation. It's probably, in fact, it is very closely related to prayer because many people pray. Some of us have a structured religious practice. Some of us pray from our hearts. Some of us have a spiritual practice. But what is the key component? Some of us see our prayers answered and some of us don't. We appear to be praying to something external to us, just asking, like I would ask my friend, hey, can I have this? I'm going to ask God, can I have this? That doesn't seem very close to meditation. But meditation and prayer both require mindfulness and feeling and intention. And when we come to prayer from a sense of that I already have it, and the feeling that I already have it, and the intention that I already have it, then that prayer is much more powerful. And there was a study done on prayer, and it was a very interesting study. And I want you to listen to the details because they're important. And then we're going to bring it all together. In 2001, there was a double-blind study. There were two groups. One group was prayed for, and the other group was not prayed for. Neither knew which was prayed for and which group was not. So the people didn't know. And also, it was also like years later. And they looked at these people's records and compared the two groups. They compared to the two groups. And the group that was prayed for had a lower duration of their fever. Their fever was shorter in duration, and they had a shorter stay in the hospital. Statistically significant numbers. And the group that was not prayed for had a longer hospital stay and a longer duration of fever. It's wild when you think about it, because not only did these people not know that they were prayed for. Not only the people didn't necessarily know who they were praying for, but also it was 5 to 11 years later. It was 5 to 11 years later. So how can we explain that? How can we explain that? And when we start looking a little deeper into quantum physics, it's a physics study that looks at very small particles at the subatomic particle level, like the electron, the neutron, the proton, which is the smallest particle that we can see through special microscopes. We see that matter at the small level, and all matter is composed of these types of subatomic particles. Subatomic particles make up atoms, atoms make up molecules, molecules make up everything. Our whole body's made up of molecules. Molecules make up cells. Different kinds of cells make up different types of organs, etc., etc. So the subatomic particles are the smallest particles, and when we're able to see them, we see that the person's observation changes the particle. So it starts to behave like the actual matter, the actual mass, the particle starts to behave like light, and it's dependent on the observer. It changes. Who observes it and what they're doing changes the actual matter. It's wild when you think about it, because it gives us an idea that we can possibly explain how meditation, mindfulness, prayer, even remote prayer, even people who didn't know they were prayed for, even people who were prayed for years later, can actually have a difference in their results of their health, So how much more so if we who care about our bodies, who care about our health, who care about the people we pray for or think about positively, how much more so can we affect their physical matter? And not only that, at that small level, the small, tiny level of subatomic particles, the particles are much more energy than they are matter. So we kind of think of things kind of like parts, I have fingers and hands and it's all stuff, matter stuff, mass. But really, at that small level, we're much more energy than we are matter. And matter and energy can be interchangeable. So it shows us how much energy is a big part of who we are, and how much energy can affect matter and change our matter. And our matter is really our organs. Our organs can change. The physicality of our organs can change based on what we're thinking, based on our mindfulness. And I've seen this many, many times. Many times people just feel better. People do things that are not quantifiable. They take care of their mental, emotional health through breathwork, through meditation, through energy medicine, and their inflammatory markers get better. Their colonoscopy results get better. How can we explain that? And that's really the case. And this is the case for meditation and how it works. So how do we meditate? This is very important, because many people who've never meditated, for them asking them to meditate is like asking them to levitate or, fly to the moon. They don't know how. But I'm going to tell you that anyone can meditate and anyone can learn. And just like anyone can play basketball, if you practice, you can start from not knowing how to even hold the ball to getting the ball into the hoop. Now, I'm probably the one who barely can hold the ball. But if we practice with consistency and intention, we can get there. Maybe we won't be Michael Jordan, but you know what? That's okay. We don't need to be Michael Jordan in meditation. We just need to be good enough for us. And some people are going to be better and some people are not. But as long as we're just good enough for us, we just need to be good enough to help ourselves. So there's no person that's born great with meditation. Everyone needs to develop that. So if you've never meditated, you start with 1 minute, with 2 minutes. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas what you can do. Couple of ideas, but you can start very small. Some people can't focus even for 10 minutes. And the truth is, we as a society, it's very difficult for us to focus these days because of the nature of our society with screens and instant gratification. And focus is very difficult for us, but it can be built back up. The reason it's difficult for us is because we've been deconditioned with focus. So we can build it back up. So you give yourself 2 minutes. Don't beat yourself up if your mind wanders. You do your best. You do it for 2 minutes, for 2-3 days consistently. Then you start 4 minutes, 5 minutes. You add 1 minute. You add 2 minutes. You do it. You change it every week. Whatever you need. Whatever you need. Some people need a longer stretch, and some people can move forward very quickly. It's not competitive sports. It's whatever works for you. The best meditation is the one that you're going to do consistently. So that's super important. Number 2, a very important part of meditation is to experience the feeling associated with what you're trying to achieve. So let's say you're trying to meditate to better health. You're visualizing your body, you're visualizing running. Let's say someone has a problem with their back or their legs or their weakness or fatigue, and they're visualizing themselves running. They're running fast, they're running for a long period of time. That shows them that they're already better. How does that feel? How does that feel when you run? You feel the sun in your face, you feel the wind, you feel hot, you feel you've got that runner's high. What does it feel like? It's important to get into it and feel it, not just visualize yourself like you're separate from that, like you're a movie. No, you're in it. You're running past people. What do the people look like? How do you feel? Are you hot? Are you cold? Is it windy? Is it raining? You feel it. That's very, very important. You need to feel the meditation as if you were there. That takes practice. So that's number one. And number two is dedicating consistent time. Now, what kind of meditations do I recommend? I think many times some of the easy ones for people to start with are visualization of what they want. So if it's a health goal, what is it? What visualization is going to show you that you have achieved your health goal? So if someone has horrible pain in their belly that they can't leave the house, they can visualize themselves going to a restaurant and having dinner with their friends, something maybe they haven't been able to do. Or if it's weakness, it could be exercise or whatever it is. You visualize how you get dressed to go to the restaurant, how you meet your friends, what kind of food, every detail. What's on your plate? How does the table look? How's the waiter? And how does that make you feel? Do you feel excited to be out? You haven't been out in a year. Do you feel really happy to see your friends? What does that feel like? Be into it, see the detail, and have the feeling. Number two, another really great way to get started is a mantra. Get a phrase, a line, 2 lines, whatever that goal you're trying to achieve. For example, my body is completely healthy, my digestive system works perfectly, and I feel energized and relaxed all the time. That could be your mantra. You say it in your head over and over again. You feel it. What does that feel like? I'm perfectly healthy and balanced. How does that feel? That feels amazing, because maybe that person may actually be anxious and in pain all the time. So I'm healthy and balanced is huge. So feel it. So whatever you choose, I would start with either a visualization or a mantra. Those are 2 kind of good ways to start. Look at your goal, see what you want to achieve, write the things out that you want or the visual that you want, and work on it and be patient. Because if you're going to start, you've never meditated before and you're going to start tomorrow, you are not going to see amazing results right away. Or maybe you will, but don't expect it, because it takes time. If you're up to half an hour and during that half an hour you're really able to achieve that state, that is something that can bring you lasting results once you start doing it on a regular basis. But when you're just starting kind of 2-3 minutes, you're practicing. It's important to practice, because practice is going to get you there. But don't think you're there for 2 weeks, you're still at 5 minutes. Don't get discouraged. That's not the time to get discouraged. That's the time to keep pushing. You may not be there, but you will be there. So keep pushing. No one's bad at meditating. It's really just a practice. I look forward to seeing all of you next week. If you want to learn more about meditation, about how to treat the mind-body connection, you can find it on our website at wholegut, WHOLEGUT.com. Stay healthy, stay gutsy, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.